We are back on Morning Line. With us this morning is Professor Maria Luisa Jorge. She is an Earth and Environmental Science biological professor at Vanderbilt with knowledge of the Brazilian rainforest, because she is. Are you Brazilian?
Yes, I'm Brazilian.
You're from Brazil. She goes
São
back
Paulo.
every year. I mean, does it make you sad to see the rainforest burning?
Yes, because I think it doesn't need to.
Okay, there's alternatives.
There are easy alternatives. It's just a matter of putting some effort there.
Well, and hopefully this raises the attention. I mean, one of the things sometimes people in this country and elsewhere that aren't down there see it and they go, well, they don't like it, but what can I do? And they kind of throw up their arms. And a lot of people, unfortunately, I think, in society today, just stick their head in the sand and ignore it and say, I'm going to live for the moment, and what comes down the road is God's will. Well, God's will is to give you will to make a difference, all right? And there are things we can all do, are there not, to raise awareness? We're all seeing these news reports. What can someone in this country do, in your opinion, maybe to raise awareness or to help with this cause?
I think just by having this program here in Nashville in a local channel, this is great. So hopefully people will understand a little bit more what's happening and talk to other people.
So let your lawmakers know that you support this idea of it.
Right.
Yeah. But this transcends, and you know, in this country sometimes there's a balance or a debate between, you know, business and environmental protections and the push and shove and how you balance them both, because they both need to be addressed. I'm just wondering, with regard to how serious this is, this transcends just business and environment, in my opinion, in that what if the rainforest disappeared tomorrow?
Oh, it would be devastating for it would affect the whole planet completely. I mean, it would. I mean, it stores a big chunk of the carbon that exists on Earth. Mm-hmm. So all that carbon would be released all of a sudden, and it would completely change the Earth's climate.
And so global warming and all of that would be accelerated.
Exactly. And then droughts and extreme weather and floods and everything that we're seeing that is increasing slowly year by year, it would be all of a sudden
much more drastic.
Much more drastic. Exactly.
So when they refer to the Amazon rainforest as the Earth's lungs, so you've probably heard that. I don't know if that's even a fair description. How do you take that when they say lungs? What does it mean? Because you think lungs, it means that's where the air comes from. That's what you breathe. Right.
So I think it's a bit of a misconception. Okay. So what happens is that plants take up CO2 and release O2 when they do the photosynthesis. Mm-hmm. So take up carbon dioxide and release oxygen, but they also breathe. So they also take up oxygen and release CO2. And there is a bit of it's almost like a zero, it's not completely, but to be simplistic here, it's almost like a zero balance in terms of how much oxygen is taken up and released by the Amazonian rainforest and by forests in general. Of course, it depends on seasonality and all. But I think the main importance of the Amazonian rainforest is because of its size, it really regulates the climate in the entire globe. Mm-hmm. So it's not so much that it's releasing O2 and taking up a lot of CO2, although it is taking a little bit, but it stores a lot of carbon there. And if we cut it out, cut it off and releases it to the atmosphere, it's gonna change drastically all the balance between the atmospheric carbon and the carbon that is stored or
okay, so and if that happens, tangibly sitting here in Nashville, Tennessee, would you just notice temperatures getting warmer? Would it be more of an issue breathing clean air? What kind of impact would something like that have?
Well, it depends on how you release that CO2, because the other problem is that burning changed the quality of the air. Yep. And I think that's what made everybody aware of those fires in the Amazon this time, because that has happened before, like increased fires in the Amazon in a given year. Right. But this time there was this rain and the sudden darkness in São Paulo city, which is like 2,000 kilometers from the Amazon, in a Monday afternoon, and this is related to the fires. So there is also, if you cut down the forest by burning it, of course the quality of the air would drastically be
made worse. All right, you know, I wanted to ask you this then. So, if the Amazon is it public property? Is it some of it privately owned? Because you mentioned the Smoky Mountains as maybe being some type of, you know, you could say it's similar in some of the way it serves, much smaller, of course. But the Smoky Mountains, okay, they're protected. It is a federal park, okay? And if Teddy Roosevelt had not cordoned off and said, this is going to remain a park, I hate to say it, but we would have hotels at the top of Klingsman's Dome and other places. It would be disgusting, okay? I mean, development would have moved in, there'd be condos. I mean, there already are around, have you ever been to the Smokies? Well, yes. You've been to Gatlinburg and some of those areas, and Gatlinburg's fun, don't get me wrong, but it comes right up to the border of the Smokies, okay?
Right.
And really, it's amazing. You go to the Smokies and you're like in a different world. You step out and you're in commercialism galore. If that was not protected, Gatlinburg would be all over the Smokies, which in my opinion would be disgusting. It'd be awful, and thank God Teddy Roosevelt set aside that land. It's protected. And if a developer goes in there, they're going to get arrested and busted, as they should be, and thrown in the clink. So why don't they protect the Amazon? Or is it protected, or is it private land that's burning?
It is private land that is burning. That's the first point.
Okay, so you see, if it's someone's personal private land.
But not, well, but here's the thing, so let me explain here. It is not protected areas, but some of it is not owned yet by anyone. It is public, but not protected.
Okay.
So it's just out there. Nobody owns it.
No one really owns it. Can someone go out there and just build a house on it if they want to live there?
Yes and no. I mean, technically no. You have to get permission from the government, but what they do is that they just invade the area and they fake papers and they say, this is mine. And then the government, if the government doesn't really care, they'll say, okay, that's yours. I'm fine with that. If you're doing something that is useful with this land, useful for them.
Meaning cattle farmers who are then producing beef, which is a you know, a product that then can be sold.
Yes, exactly, or soybeans.
Or soybeans.
Yeah, but so a lot of this land is areas that are no one's, it's government, but private owners that have money, resources to do that, go and just invade those areas and cut the areas, and then after the fact they claim that those areas are theirs, and the government may say no, it's not true, and they fine them and take the sometimes take the area back, not usually. Or they may just say, well, that's fine. It's a fact.
See, that's where I think you said it's going to be something where maybe with international pressure and more, they're going to have to address this and start cracking down on that. And maybe protect, you know, declare the Amazon something that's protected where you're not allowed to go in. Listen, we'll take a break on that note when we come back. More of our conversation as well. And if you'd like, we could take a few phone calls as well. The number up on the screen as we talk about the fires in the Amazon and what it all means with the professor right after this. Stay with us.